Hi, this is Kirk O'Connor and welcome back to our tutorials and showing you how to set up WordPress and various other items. And what we're going to show you today is how to set up an email account on the email client Microsoft Outlook. So here we have Outlook set up, and I've already received some information from the server, which has allowed me to know what I have to set up in terms of login, password, and the various settings. So without further delay, we're going to go to that, and the first thing we do is click the tools here and account settings. Now you notice I already have a few email accounts here. Adding a new one won't make any difference, it'll just add a new account. So I'm going to click new. If you don't have Outlook 2007, don't get too concerned, because Outlook 2003, Outlook 2010, very similar, and the basic concepts are the same. So we want a Microsoft Exchange POP3 IMAP or HTTP, so that's what we want. Now at this point we want to manually configure, so don't type anything here, go down to the bottom and click manually configure and press next. Once again, we want a POP account, so this is the right setting here. We're going to click next again. Okay, we have some settings to type in here. The first one is a text setting, so I can put my name in there without any changes. The second one is the actual email address that you will be setting up, and in my case it is this one here. It is a POP3 account. You do have some selections there. We would normally select POP3 because POP3 will download your email from the server onto your PC and clean that email off the server. Perhaps if you were setting up a mobile device like a phone and you wanted your email set up so that you can read it on your phone but it doesn't download it from the server, you might set that up as IMAP, but commonly you would set this up as POP3. Okay, the incoming mail server is the server from which the mail will come down, and this information will be sent to you by the people who've set up your email. In our case, it is mail.ipressword.com. Okay, the outgoing mail server. This is an area that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but for the moment we're going to set that up the same, and we'll tell you why that might or might not work. Your username in most cases will be the same as your email address. Now some of the stuff that gets sent out will have a plus there instead of the @. I would normally use the @ myself, but the plus should work if you are sent that in your documentation. And the password, you will have been sent out a password as well. Okay, so we also have some other information that'll be sent out to you along the lines of ports and requires authentication and those sort of things. So to get to those settings, we click more settings here, and along here where it says my outgoing server requires authentication, we're going to click this box because we've been told to, and where here it says in advanced, we've been given an outgoing server setting, which is, in our case, has been told that that is port 26, so we're going to change that to 26. We're going to click OK. Now we're going to test our account settings, and let's see what happens. Okay, so you've done a test of your mail, and if it's passed, well then you should continue on and save your settings and finalize that transaction. Your mail now works. However, some of you might find that you've been able to receive mail but not to send mail, and that's a reasonably common problem. And the problem will be that your ISP, your internet server provider, be it BigPond, WestNet, IINet, Optus or whoever, is blocking port 25 or port 26. So there's a very simple way around this, and the way around this is to set your mail server at the same setting that your ISP has, your outgoing mail server, that is, at the same setting that your ISP recommends. So we are actually sending mail out through there. So I've set that there, but what you also have to do is go into more settings and make sure that my outgoing server requires authentication, which we ticked before, is unticked. Otherwise you will end up requiring 2 passwords, and that will get somewhat confusing and will fail. And also, if you go into advanced, and make sure before we had this set as 26 that this is in fact set as 25. So okay, so what we're going to do now is to test this once again. Okay, so our tests have passed, and now we can just progress on to the next phase, which is to finish. And you can see there that our account is now there. So just to finish off, I'm going to send a new mail message via one of the other accounts to this account. So an internal test, however, it is going to go through the server. So I'm going to send click send and receive. This is in fact going out via my ISP to the server, and then will come through the server and back via the ISP to this computer. So it is an external test. Here is our mail message. In fact, it has come back. So we know that our account works. There it is. This is a test, and it was sent from Kirk O'Connor at bigpond.com, which was the master account here. Just one quick thing: if you have multiple accounts and you are sending out a new mail message, if you want to send it from anything other than the default account, if you use this account here and click that setting of the one you want, it's going to come from, you can see this message will be sent from Kirk at ipressword.com. So I'm going to send this to myself yet again, whereas I'm going to send it the other way. I'm now sending from the new email address, and I'm going to be sending it to the default email address for this account. Okay, there you go. You can see the new message has popped in from Kirk at ipressword.com to Kirk P. O'Connor at bigpond.com. This is another test message. There you go. You can see that we can not only send and we can receive email, and we've set up multiple email accounts and they're working successfully. This has been Kirk O'Connor. Thank you very much for listening and watching this tutorial. Check out some of our other WordPress tutorials and email setup tutorials.